Well, hello, sir. I don't know if you're there or not or frozen, but I got you here. We're live with the channel program and ConnectWise here to talk about PitchIT. I got you, Matt, because you're frozen a little bit.
Am I
So
still frozen?
yeah, well, you're good. You're talking now. You're
All
moving a
right.
little bit. You're doing well, much better.
All right. I'm still trying to shut things down. I don't know what's happening on my side, but we're back. We're day 3. We've got energy, right? Sean, you said I didn't bring
Woo!
enough energy in the beginning last time.
You didn't. You didn't. I'm glad you stepped up. Thank you for stepping up. Yes, day 3 of what's been a long ride for a lot of these for 26 vendors to go through since May. Since May, dude.
It's an incredible. It's a big commitment for those who do not know. Um,
It
I mean,
is.
I can't even imagine the amount of hours that everybody had to put into this. So this is kind
You
of getting to the finale soon.
Right. Well, the amount of hours, I mean, I definitely can't account for all their hours backstage, and behind closed doors, like preparing for things. But just with us alone, they average at least 2 to 3 hours a week with us between workshops, meetings, live streams, webinars, podcasts, whatever it was. They literally were doing that much. And then, not to mention, again, when they went through all the workshops and all things they had to do for that, God only knows the amount of time. I mean, you've done this before. You and I both have done this before. We're in a startup and we think we have everything right, and then somebody tells us something. We're like, oh my Lord, I didn't do any of this. Now I got to go back to the drawing board and start this stuff again. So
Yeah.
it's happened, I'm sure, for every one of them. And also, not even to mention the amount of stuff they do to reinvest in the ConnectWise ecosystem into the community.
Yeah.
So it's a serious deal. We all grow very fond and unfond of each other at one point or another, I feel like.
I can imagine. All right, so Sean, why don't you give everybody? I mean, we've got different people, visiting today. Perhaps give everybody the quick why we're here, and then I'll kind of go through the logistics of what the event's going to look like today for them.
Absolutely. So, as stated, we're here to talk about this is PitchIT. This is a competition. 5 years it's been happening, hosted by ConnectWise, sponsored by ConnectWise. And what the whole point behind this is a Shark Tank like competition, looking for the best of innovative vendors, the emerging technologies. They have to be able to do two major things. The first thing is they have to be complementary to our ecosystem. Okay. Secondly, they have to be able to support, and most importantly, really, is they must be able to support the mission of the MSPs themselves. So this is what we're looking for. These are startup vendors. They, as mentioned, it is a competition. So 26 vendors were in this year, which was the highest number ever for this. They go through an accelerated incubator program for 16 weeks. The whole goal is to prep them for what we're doing right here, right now, which is the preliminaries. They are all right now competing to become one of the 3 finalists. This is day 3. The 3 finalists that are selected will be receiving a free booth at Connect, but also get to present live on stage on November 8th. We probably want to pull up that banner at IT Nation Connect in November 8th. So for those of you that have not registered or looking to figure out how to sponsor or whatever it may be, there's a link for you below. But again, these 3 vendors are looking to compete, and they will pitch live, whoever's selected, in front of on stage to be the grand prize winner of $70,000. Second place is $30,000. And as we've been making the joke, probably get more serious though now. Third place is steak knives, selected by Marvin B. From the dollar store, he said. So again, but that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I'm seeing we're getting comments backstage asking if we're twins, Sean.
It's from Ian. He's in New Zealand or Australia, and it doesn't even count.
But yeah, just to kind of reiterate some of the things you said, but this for the user experience here today, it's an opportunity obviously to hear from emerging vendors, many who you've not heard from at the in-person events that you've typically gone to, perhaps. It's a chance to give your feedback and help really shape the next iteration of vendors that are entering this space. So after each presentation will be 5 minutes. We've got 9 presenters today. You'll have about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to fill out some poll questions. It is really important that you do fill out those questions. It's anonymous feedback. So we say, be constructive, with your feedback. Definitely no reason to be harsh or mean. I did see a couple comments I didn't love yesterday, but so again, I'd say be constructive with it. Everybody's here to try to make themselves better. And if you are not an MSP, so if you're another vendor that's listening, you're not going to have the poll question. So there's nothing wrong. This is really for the MSPs to provide their feedback. And so one thing we didn't talk about, John, one of the advantages, maybe not every MSP realizes, with kind of hearing from a vendor such in an early stage or wherever, I know they're all in different stages of emerging, but the advantage of getting in with a vendor in those early days, you tend to get like grandfathered into things that will never ever be available at that cost. Or like with ID Agent back in the day, we had unlimited searches, which at some point we just cut off because we were scaling at that point and didn't need to include that anymore. And so
Absolutely.
nice
No,
little
that's an advantage. I mean, the advantage is a couple of things. You already mentioned them. And, again, vendors are looking for feedback. They're looking for feedback on how to improve. They're also, a lot of these vendors are looking for business. So it's kind of important. And they're looking for their future advocates.
Yeah.
And you got, and any, just like MSPs with your clients, when you guys went after your clients, the first clients you talked to are the ones that started helping you curve the way you provide services to a degree. Same rules apply. So you should do it, and you should be involved, invested, and you should help these vendors be good. That way you can't complain about them later, not providing a service that you always wanted. And again, we are all one-sided. We knew we wanted to solve one problem, but sometimes it jumps into other problems that you could probably help to solve for. So that's the other piece, is if you know other vendors that could also benefit from maybe a relationship together with these vendors, then you should tell them, hey, I think you guys should work with company A. They have a product you need that could help us do this and be more holistic.
Yeah, absolutely. So Sean, should we start kicking things off here?
I guess we should, because we're ready to go, man. Yeah. And let's, without further ado, we have Tiffany here. Tiffany says absolute stud. I tell everybody this, Tiffany, now at this point, you're extremely impressive. Anytime we can get a female in cybersecurity and also be not just in cybersecurity, but actually educating people on cybersecurity, like not like, hey, I'm just here and I learned a few things. No, like you are it. But I'm not going to take up all your time. But Hackware is a cool product, so I want to make sure you get your time. But Tiffany, the stage is now yours.
Well, thank you. I'm Tiffany Ricks, and I'm with Hackware. Hackware is a 100% automated AI-driven security awareness platform that helps MSPs combat phishing attacks. And I have an amazing team with over 30 years of experience in cybersecurity, managed services, and AI. And we're dedicated to helping managed service providers combat phishing attacks. I understand the attacker journey firsthand. I used to work as a certified ethical hacker. I understand, and I held a secret clearance. I also understand what it's like to own an MSP. And I built this product to solve my own phishing concerns with my end users. ConnectWise has identified 14 different cybersecurity gangs that are targeting MSPs and their SMB customers. And bad actors' tool of choice is phishing, and they're targeting our vulnerable employees and end users, getting that ransomware inside of our systems, locking them down, and then small businesses are spending $500,000 to resolve these issues. This is big business. Managed service providers are targeting small businesses with ransomware at a high rate, but this is a big opportunity for managed service providers because our customers, your customers, are choosing you and relying on you to protect and serve them because they don't have the skill set to do it. And many managed service providers are doing a great job. They are using frameworks to stay on top of the evolving threats. They're using the Center for Internet Security framework, CIS. They're mapping their solutions to the 18 different critical controls. But what is failing them is the security awareness vendors that are out there. These solutions are labor intensive. They're training your users on old attacks. And also they're not designed to be ran continuously. And so this is where we see compromise happening time and time again, but Hackware is the solution. We are a generative AI-driven platform that provides continuous, personalized phishing simulations, micro training to get to the root cause of your problems, and that's end user security awareness. We make it easy for our partners that are busy to provide personalized phishing simulations that are scaled, but they are challenging your end users. The training is short form, straight to the point, 3 minutes or less, and this targets their risky behavior to correct it. And we have budget-friendly solutions for our partners to help them reduce their labor costs because we have automation. The platform is margin, it gives them the ability to grow by up to 65% with our margin opportunities. And then also we offer quick onboarding, which you can deploy this out 15 minutes or less to your customers, and you'll see that we get you to revenue opportunities in 50% faster. The other key thing is that we're a proud certified ConnectWise integrator. This gives you the ability to have unified billing, simplified billing across all of your customers. The current competition is great, but they provide generic solutions that are labor intensive. Hackware is different because we're focused on providing personalized phishing simulations that are based off real threats and understand risky behavior to make sure that this process continuously adapts to the threat landscape. Partner program, we have two best-in-class partner programs, one that's community-based and one that's focused on direct connections with your sales team, sales enablement, done-for-you marketing content to help you close deals. And we've seen our partners grow. This is a case study we've done where a partner switched from a labor-intensive platform to Hackware. Within the first year, they saw 1,100% growth, and that's because they focused on leveraging our automation and then our sales enablement training, which reduced their sales cycles, as well as they grew with us, which their margin opportunities grew as well. And we're going to use these funds to invest back into our partners. You're going to get certifications paid by Hackware. We're going to pay for you to attend these conferences, and we're going to sponsor IT Nation Secure. Vote for us today, but also go to hackware.com/MSP, put in the promo code of PitchIT, and you'll be able to get access to our free white labeling in 14-day trial.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Tiffany.
Thank you.
All right. So our first polls of the day should be going up. Again, you got about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to fill those out. And as a reminder, they are anonymous. So please do provide that feedback. And again, if you are not an MSP, if you are a vendor attending, you will not be part of those polls. All right, Sean. So we've got it started.
Yeah, we did. And it started off strong. I mean, here's what I like. She said, "This is big business, people." And how many times have you heard an MSPs complain about it regularly, that their clients say, "I'm a small guy. Nobody cares about me. They're not going to come after me." And the reality is they are, and they have been. And so I like that she wasn't nervous about it. She literally just said what she had to say about it, which is important.
Yeah.
And I'm also like the sheer amount of money that's spent and lost is, I mean, and chances are that's probably not even the whole number. There's probably more out there that we have not even discovered yet that has been lost, right?
Yeah.
But it is big business. It's big money. So I like that, and we know that cybersecurity is a hot topic. It's a hot button this year.
Yeah, and I mean, look, security awareness training is a competitive space. It has to be in an MSP stack. It's a requirement. I love the fact, and this goes into the evolving space. The fact that now sounds like Hackware does SMS test, phishing tests, which is half the phishing things I get these days are text messages now.
Right. I mean, it's a multi-pronged approach now. You're not like it used to be just an email. Before that was you just clicked on the website.
Yeah.
It was, it's a big deal, and it's and actually it's funny because we did a talk last year at IT Nation Secure about it, where we talked about like what's more important, the technology or the users, like who should you address first? It's both simultaneously ultimately, right? But if again, you get attacked every which way and you can click on anything. I know, like we take our tests like you do, I'm sure, as far as, hey, make sure we're going to take this compliance test to make sure you're not vulnerable to be hacked. It's all set up, but I definitely think it's good. I think it's important. I think it's smart. And you're right, MSPs have to have a part of their stack at this point. It's an expectation. It's a requirement.
Yeah, and I think Hackware's got a big opportunity at security awareness training. For whatever reason, I think it's one of those that MSPs consistently like reevaluate. Maybe that's that the competitors aren't as good as they think they are. I don't know.
Right.
But it just happens to be an area that seems to be a constant. The question of who who are you using for this?
Absolutely. Well, and the other go one step further before we wrap up this is I like the fact that they talk about sales enablement.
Yeah.
I think that's a big piece because it's one thing to give you a product, it's another thing to tell you how to actually represent it in the space, and so I think it's important we go both sides of that and say the fact that it's important to have that sales enablement piece, because as an MSP and trying to convince and create value and be able to sell, that's key. And it makes you, as a vendor, it gives you staying power, because as the MSP grow, you're growing. You're not going to go anywhere.
For sure. All right. I think we are ready to keep things moving along. I'm going to bring up Rob on stage.
Oh yeah. So
how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, Rob. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
So a fellow Army veteran, but I'm not involved with voting or judging or anything, so doesn't matter. Rob, I'm gonna let you get rolling here. The floor is yours, dude.
Okay, thank you, sir. If you are tired of trying to figure out the sales growth challenge, this challenge being how to consistently and organically grow your MSP's sales engine, we can help. We will teach you what to fix, how to actually fix it, and most importantly, when it's appropriate to even focus on that. We will guide you both tactically and strategically in building your entire sales and marketing engine. You see, we have amassed, refined, and enhanced over 10 years of building sales and marketing documents for over 250 MSPs, handling everything in MSP sales and marketing, from the recruiting, the training, the management, the scripts, cadences, enablement, prospecting, closing, accountability, everything from management's ROI all the way down to the marketing intern. And now through technology, we can bring all of this to you with the help of our little buddy, Selma. Selma is a sales enablement language model assistant, and she has been built specifically by us as an AI-driven privatized LLM and then fine-tuned with our hundreds of best-in-class documents and guides. So now anyone, you, can learn, build, and review a unique MSP sales and marketing system that is specific to you, but guided by our 2 million sales and marketing, prospecting, and closing activities. So how do we use AI to actually do all this? Well, we do it in two different ways. First is boss mode. For those businesses that have already leveled up and are preparing for exit in the next 2 to 5 years, we will put them through a rigorous 84-point assessment, measuring everything from sales foundations all the way up to the sales management. This will produce a customized roadmap that is unique to you and your specific sales journey. And then we will put you with one of our industry experts that will help coach and guide you through the entire roadmap in a fix this next system. This will include a complete marketing playbook, to include a unique value proposition wizard built by marketing experts, all the while guiding you up to that M&A desired 20% growth number. Everything will be measured quarter over quarter so you can see where you're at and where you're going versus the industry benchmarks. And the price point for this system is between $850 and $3,750 per month, depending on the level of consulting that you add to the SaaS platform. We have already had over 20% of our MSPs get acquired while using this system, equating to $94 million. Abe Garver of Focus Investment Banking has said that using this system will generate 2 to 3 more points on your EBITDA when you're looking to sell, which is fantastic for the people that have already leveled up. But there are 33,000 smaller US-based MSPs that are still trying to break through that $250, $500, $750, $1.5 million revenue level. And for those IT superheroes, we have a $100 price point in Adventure Mode, which is platform only, and it helps you decrease your sales and marketing costs and increase your deal velocity by giving you access to our 10 years worth of processes, procedures, scripts, multi-channel cadences, everything right at your fingertip, and all built with topic-focused bots, which will prompt, guide, and suggest your way into building, reviewing, and maintaining your sales and marketing system. We have now started bringing in our vendors into our ecosystem. Let's take SaaS Alerts, for example, which is a great way for you hunters out there to prospect for new logos. SaaS Alerts has their entire knowledge base inside of our system, so you can review, build, and gain more knowledge for your systems. And when you're ready, you can build your own selling methods that you want. Spin, Sandler, Challenger, Consultative, anything. It's all in there. You can choose your own marketing frameworks that you prefer. And remember, everything is tied back into the unique value proposition that you built during our wizard phase. So now you have everything all encompassing and brought to you. I leave you with this. What do? We build unique MSP sales and marketing engines. And why does this matter to you? Because our clients are averaging 1.1 deals per month, which is better than Service Leadership's best-in-class numbers. We will build the USP with you. You choose the sales and marketing models that fit you, your personality, and your core values. We will put it all inside of our multi-channel cadences and timelines based on 2 million sales and marketing activities. So you get the output that you want, just like our clients. Thank you, everybody.
Excellent. Thank you, Rob. All right. So the polls should be going up for them right now. Again, provide your feedback. Yeah, I mean, Sean, we talked a little bit about this yesterday. I mean, sales is if not generally number one or two biggest pain points for MSPs.
Agreed. I mean, it's the lifelong battle of it, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that he said, and Rob, very bold claim, I'd love to see that. Better than best in class from even SLI, which is from our side. You know, that's a big deal. It's, you know, there's two parts to this as well. One is being able to actually sell. The other part being able to scale and know what you did right so you can repeat it.
Yeah.
Sell, you know?
And I thought one of the what I wrote down, I think is pretty unique is the kind of that choose your journey. You know, you choose which model fits you.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And it also dabbles into, because we're talking about sales maturity, it dabbles into a lot of other conversations that need to take place. How many times we're in the same MSP groups, and we constantly see people trying to hire sales reps and saying, "Oh, I had to fire mine in 3 months because nothing was getting done." But you know, and typically, why does that happen so often? Is it really the sales rep's fault, or is it the owner's fault? Did they not prepare properly for them? And this will tell them. I'm not saying, I'm not pointing any fingers, MSPs, so I don't know who's at fault. And I don't really, there's nobody specific I'm talking about either. But the fact of the matter is, before you hire people, you have to make sure you're ready. You have everything ready for them. You have to make sure you're mature enough to hire somebody and actually onboard them the right way and give them what they need to be able to succeed. So, yeah. I mean, it's a big deal. It's the same thing you would do for your help desk. You just, you know, but sales, you think that not all sales reps are created equally. They don't have the same skill sets. They don't have the same wants, just like tech people.
Yeah, and it's so important to have that training in place, because then it does make it very hard to evaluate sales people. And I think that's probably, you know, I don't have any stats to back this up, but I assume it's one of the most, you know, churned job titles for MSPs.
Well, it's one of the most churned for just industry at large. Because, you know, they're actually over 75% of people that own the numbers lose their job within the first 2 years due to not being able to achieve the numbers. 75% churn every 2 years. What's that tell you? You know, and you can say it's the person, you can say it's the company, you can say it's the culture. It's a combination of all the above, but the fact is, it's really the most important thing. It's just because of the unknown, the not knowing what to do.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna bring up our first of 3 companies representing APAC, or even more specifically ANZ, and I'll bring Ian up here.
All right, yes, Ian, what's up, dude? You ready?
All good, thank you, Sean.
All good. So you're ready. I love the opening slide. Yes,
you.
Ian from GetCambian. They were in the competition last year, but Ian did not present. But I'm not going to take up any of your time here. But let's just acknowledge we're still talking about sales. Good luck, and the time is yours, dude.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ian from GetCambian, and yes, we're talking sales. And there's a general sentiment that MSPs are not great at selling. Unfair, maybe. A generalization, definitely. But it is what it is. So what's the problem? MSPs are talking technology, not business. It's a problem because our marketplace has changed. Tech budgets today are owned by a line of business execs, not just the IT manager. What they see are service providers having technical conversations with technical people. They see maintenance people. They see people that are reactive and are not critical to them reaching their business goals. What they want is a provider that understands their business, their priorities, their risks, and will help them achieve their business goals. They want a strategic partner, a partner that talks business. And if their current provider isn't talking business, eventually they will move to one that does. So talking business is key, and that's a challenge for many MSPs. Current tools are mainly technical operational dashboards for low-level maintenance, renewals, benchmarking. They generally talk to technology efficiency, not to business. We're a spin-out from New Zealand-based MSP Kinetics that started to develop its own tools to quickly and easily drive strategic business conversations. When it showed these tools to its Evolve group peers, the group wanted them, and GetCambium was born. Formally launched in September 22 and recognized less than a year later by Channel Program as a category leader. GetCambium is a SaaS-based strategic sales and QBR platform. To quote Jeremy Nelson from Paxate Academy, your first meeting with a prospect is about asking the right questions. GetCambium provides the questions, the recommendations, the report templates out of the box. It gives you a seamless, agile methodology to understand your client's business, tailor recommendations to their goals and priorities, recommendations that align to your technology stack, drive the roadmap, and drive revenue, and recommendations that provide the baseline for strategic, goal-focused QBRs that you prepare in minutes, not days. And that's really important. To quote the recently published Service Leadership Report, one of the 5 key traits of high maturity MSPs that drive profitability, margins, and growth are systematic, business-led QBRs that engage the C-level. And that's a GetCambium QBR. GetCambium's real value kicks in over time as you craft your own questions and recommendations aligned to your value proposition, your target customer profile, your standardized stack. That drives margin and strategic partnerships. And you can and you should charge for QBRs. Onboarding is easy. The monthly subscription starts at $450 for unlimited discoveries and QBRs. GetCambium is ConnectWise Event certified to provide a robust, secure integration. Recommendations are pushed into ConnectWise's opportunities, and in case you've missed it, recommendations equals revenue. Ticket and asset management and agreement information is pulled from ConnectWise into discovery and QBRs. Autotask will be next. Some client testimonials. We have a unique product that goes from sales discovery, VCIO, QBR. It works. We had one client made 300 recommendations across 4 clients that generated $1.2 million of recurring revenue and put 700K project revenues. And it works for MSPs in our industry. It changes the way in which MSPs demonstrate value, engage, and compete in a changing marketplace. If you're interested in GetCambium, we'd be delighted to schedule a demo, a free trial, or a call just to compare notes. Please use the QR code or go to our channel program page. And for your information, and you want to talk business, we have a webinar on 12th September with Heather Todd from York talking about how talking business has helped them win new business. Again, use the QR code or go to our channel program page. Thank you. GetCambium.
Excellent. Thanks, Ian. All right. Polls should be going up as we speak. As, Sean, before we get into kind of the actual product and whatnot, I wrote down a couple of things. Obviously, you already mentioned the opening slide, but you know, because we're always trying to evaluate presentations. I mean, I think that's a great opening slide because it just gets your attention right away.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it puts it on the table right then and there, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. I think you have to address the elephant in the room right away, and most people want help with that too. And I like that. The concern with that, when you say that up front, is now you got to back it up, right?
Mhm.
You got to provide something, and I think that they were able to showcase that. And I like that he specifically said charge for QBRs, charge for that. You know,
Mhm.
you should. You're doing a full business assessment every single time if you do it right.
Yep.
you know, and what's the client going to save in the end if you do it right? Like what kind of, not even just save, let's go back. What is your client going to save, but also how are they going to become more productive as a result of your efforts through those?
Yeah. That's definitely a big shift though, right? I mean, traditionally, well, I think there's a lot of MSPs that don't do QBRs in general.
No, it's
Yeah.
no, it's become, it's, well, QBRs are becoming far more relevant now too, because of more cloud-based and SaaS-based everything happening. There was a time when you would sell literally your on-premise solution in 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, and oh, by the way, the vendor or the manufacturer will take care of the service for it, right? And so, but that time has changed years ago, and you have SaaS-based everything now at this point. So it is literally a requirement to maintain everything on a 24/7. I mean, I'd be curious to look at somebody's SLA from 15 years ago compared to now and see what the difference is. You know,
Heck yeah, I can't even imagine.
right?
Yeah, I do, because I do want to also give a special shout out to Ian for including the channel program badge, which was earned by GetCambion. It's really specifically through product reviews, and it's direct feedback from the MSP community. And so I will do a small plug for product reviews. Any MSP that's listening, I mean, I know a lot of you are here because you're supporting a vendor that you're currently working with, perhaps, or just wanting to hear from new technologies. But we do reward you with $15 gift cards for every product review that you provide in the platform. So it's your chance to give back. Then you're able to take a look at various categories, as GetCambion is in QBRs. I think is one of the categories, and that's where they were one of the leaders. So again, it's there's no way to buy your way to the top. It's all direct feedback from the MSP community, and I am getting the word that we are ready to kind of keep things moving along. And this gentleman I met over in New Zealand over a couple chocolate martinis. So.
I'm kind of jealous. I'm kind of jealous now. Greg, what's going on, man?
There's plenty of chocolate martinis for you, Sean, some stage.
Really, you know what? I appreciate that. I love chocolate and I love martinis. So, yeah, Greg from over the pond, also on the whole other side of the globe. I'm going to let you get rolling because I know it's like early and you're trying to get yourself together. So, Greg from Zen Contract, the floor is yours, dude.
Thank you, gentlemen. You know what, audience? Contracts don't have to be painful. Now, my name's Greg Sharp. I'm the founder and CEO of Zen Contract. And for over 25 years, I've been in the MSP industry as a business owner, a business builder, a leader, advisor, and a coach who've managed to build MSPs from scratch and sold them for large multiples, been on advisory boards for MSPs and vendors alike. And during that time, it was extremely apparent that the MSP contract process is totally broken. And we really felt that pain in our MSP that we had until we sold it last year. We were wasting 47 hours per month managing contracts. Our accuracy was very low. Only 70% of our work was actually in contract, and it resulted in a low EBIT multiplier. We talked to many other MSPs, and they were all in the same leaky boat. We're using disparate systems, cut and pasting out of Microsoft Word. None of their systems were integrated into their PSA. Sometimes their contracts would get signed, but most of the time not. And then they would never get filed in the right place, ready to be able to be found when you need them in the clinch. My business mentor told me that great businesses were built on repeatable process. And we took this mantra and we built Zen Contract. The beta version of this software we ran inside our own MSP, and the results were absolutely remarkable. Our management time of contracts went from 47 hours down to 1.5. Accuracy shot through the roof. All of our work was on contract, and we managed to increase our EBIT multiplier to 10x, to which we sold our MSP for exactly that multiplier during the end of COVID. Zen Contract is a contract automation platform that helps MSPs who want to streamline their contract process, have it totally integrated into their main tools, resulting in complete version control of all your contracts, saving thousands of hours annually, and de-risking your MSP, allowing you to seamlessly implement 20 years of best practice of contracts in a matter of a couple of hours. Now, we took that system and built in a whole bunch of features that are pertinent for the MSP industry, built by an MSP for the MSP industry. We've got complete contract library. We've got 100% version control, e-signatures built in. There's workflows that remind you about renewals that are coming up, APIs that connect into other systems. It manages the complete contract lifecycle from end to end. And you know what? Those contracts are always stored in the right place exactly when you need them for reference. We've built an entry-level MSA manager that manages all of your master services agreements in one single place, allows you to do updates and addendums to your whole companies, your whole client base all at once. No longer do you have to send out individual emails for your MSAs. It's all managed in one place and just for $99 per month. We've got a full suite of products, right from MSA Manager through to Zen Master, right up to Zen Ultimate, depending on the complexity of your digital process you would like to build and how many integrated users that you have. We're also bringing to market, using the same engine, the ability to announce Zen Policy. So this engine will allow you to manage all of your clients' cyber and security technology policies from end to end. With micropayments, it allows you to create revenue from this system with a sell-through only model, 75% MSP margins, so very high margins, de-risks your company and allows you to get very sticky with your clients. To control that risk, get integrated with your clients, manage their policies, make money. We recommend you sell that at $99 and it only costs $25, so huge margins here. So far, Zen Contract has created an ARR engine that's allowed us to get companies and MSPs from all across the world. We've got a fantastic wider wallet spend, and you know what? We're endorsed by channel titans such as Rob Ray and Peter Melby. We have MSP rave reviews from our existing customers that love the way that they're saving all of this time and getting audit ready with all of their contracts in no time at all. Zen Contracts has got a global team with industry experts that are really incredibly passionate to look after you and help you with your contract process. So we invite you to join the MSP contract revolution. Reduce your exposure and make money and solve all of your contract headaches. The next time you need to send a contract, we want you to ask yourselves, can you Zen it? Thank you.
Excellent, Greg. Thank you. And we appreciate you being up this early or late, depending on. Thanks. All right. So polls should be going up. Yeah, I mean, I do think we have to acknowledge the three vendors from A and Z. It is not an easy time zone to perform this, so I think we give them a special shout out for sure.
I would agree. I mean, well, you know, the thing is, unfortunately for them, it's their price of doing business that they want to attack North America regardless now, right? It's just become the way of doing business.
Yeah.
Which just adds on to the fact of the reality and the value of being able to automate tons of things like contracts.
Yeah. I think, you know, Greg mentioned process, a quote, I think, from a mentor. I don't remember the full quote, but I know it had to do with process. And it just, you know, just makes me think about, as any one of the MSPs is starting to scale, there's nothing worse like than when you're getting all this momentum and then you're just getting bogged down by bad process, because then you're having to go back.
Yep.
You're taking these steps forward, and then all of a sudden you're having to take all these steps back to fix things.
Absolutely. Well, and let's go one step further too. When you're going after a deal, you're trying to close a client, the sales rep and the process of the sales process is the first representative of the company and how they do business. Yep. So if you're not on point and you're not able to maintain pace with what's needed, you look bad. You're liable to lose a deal.
Yeah,
and get a bad reputation. You know, so again, because that is the face right now. That salesperson that's doing the stuff in front is the face.
Yeah,
of your company, whether you like it or not. So you should be enabling them with things like this. And also, we all know that the challenge, and we talked to Monjor the other day about it too, with the legality behind things, terms and conditions, standardizing those. You know, if you can make it repeatable and scalable and it's automated, kind of on a good, you're in a good way to begin with. You're protecting yourself.
Yeah, and you know, I think, I don't know all of the resources. I know Zen Contract, I've seen Greg post about, like, the library that they've built is pretty impressive. And again, it's one of those, like, if you go into the Facebook groups, there's always MSPs saying, does somebody have an example of this type of contract or this type of, so Zen contracts definitely hitting a major pain point and making it much easier. So you don't have to keep going into a
Absolutely.
Facebook group to try to get it from some
And
random person.
yeah, somebody you don't even know sometimes, right? And
Yeah.
that's trusting a lot of your business to that person. And not to mention even version control and
Yeah.
requirements for version. I mean, we've seen a lot of changes over again, back to the, at one point we were selling on-prem devices everywhere, right? Now you have SaaS-based products. Things change on a moment's notice now at this point. And so version control is so important for terms and conditions and contracts and whatnot. You should really only have to focus on your actual, if there's any specific deliverables that fall outside of your regular scope of work. That's really what you should only have to worry about. The rest should be handled somewhere else in the back end.
Yep. All right, we're going to keep things moving along with our final of the APAC group here, and bring on Dave.
Awesome. Yep, another international. We're on a roll, Dave. Good to see you, dude. Good morning, good afternoon. Yeah, I won't take up your time like for everybody else, but Dave Wood from BCastle, the floor is yours, dude.
Great. Well, hi everyone. My name is Dave Wood. I'm a co-founder of BCastle. We are a cloud-based data analytics platform built for MSPs. Today, I'm going to talk about account management, the problems we solve, how BCastle works, and importantly, how we create value for MSPs. Everybody knows great account management is tough, but mainly because to do a good job, you need to have a lot of information about that account, and it's hard to get the right data at the right time. We also know that good account management is a giant opportunity. So what are the problems we solve? Data automation, where we look to kill off manual input. We kill the call report. We save customers a ton of time. We drive accuracy. Data uniformity, where the same insights are available to everyone at the same time, all the time. Actionable insights, especially around KPIs and profitability. We enable strategic decision-making, and of course, account management and revenue growth. We do save our MSPs a huge amount of costs in data automation, but the real delta and the value we provide is in growing top-line revenue and increasing the value of your business. So how does our tech work? On the left side, we have our listening devices or ingestion, and there are two buckets. The first one is through your activity, M365, Teams, calendar, email. We ingest all that. And we also plug into your PSA, where we look at invoices and activity data there as well. We merge the data, and then we produce reports. To date, we've processed $4 billion worth of invoices, 9 million interactions. We have 3,000 users. We're active in 7 countries. So let's take a look at those outputs that we create. Outputs are based on a methodology around relationship management. There's currently 6 modules. We start with benchmarking, where you are. Then we go straight into account management, relationship analytics, and then we use data to drive a bunch of activities that you can benefit from. So what does it look like? This is a screen on benchmarking. You can see where you sit versus the world of other MSPs. This screen shows you relationship health at a glance. Red is bad. Green is good. If the one thing you do is save a platinum client from a churn, that may be the most profitable thing you do that month. This is an interesting slide where we show you the relationship strength. You can see it moving there in that graph based on activity. You can rank and pursue open opportunities. You can start to look at white space at a high level where you can see your product penetration across all of your accounts. And then you can go deeper using our AI-powered white space. The dark green is where our systems are suggesting that is the highest probability upsell, cross-sell opportunity. It's not uncommon for one of our clients to find 2 or 3 $20,000 to $30,000 opportunities. Pull it all together and you can create a culture of data in your organization with over 500 insights. And the best companies in the world make data-led decisions. How does it work for you? We have 2 tiers which are free. The green, you don't need to integrate your PSA. The pink, you need to integrate your PSA, but it's completely free. This is a community model. Then we move on. The full suite is paid. This is some of the things you get for free. So feel free to use the free stuff. You get some fantastic insights there. What does it cost for the paid version? $2.99 a month for a small MSP and $99 for a large MSP. Works out to about $42 a month. I will say that if you quote PitchIT to us in the next 30 days, we'll give you a 20% discount. We also offer training. Our training runs for 6 weeks, and that is because we're building habits and culture in your business. So it's called 6 Peaks in 6 weeks, and every week we get you to summit a peak and hopefully make value out of data. We have proven results from a variety of MSPs who are happy to lend their name to us. A little about us, if you choose to use us. These are the words that resonate with us: quality, integrity, respect, community, partnership, environment, transparency, and customer first. We're a platinum sponsor of Evolve, and we have a bunch of Evolve members using our data. Your data will never be shared, and we run bank level encryption at all times. If we're fortunate to win, we know exactly what we're going to do with the money. We're going to head to Orlando and do more Orlando. And if we go all the way, then maybe we could do Europe as well. So from us to you, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Dave. All right. So the polls should be going up. The only thing missing on if they won the money was their partnership with Channel Program. But you know, whatever. I'm not bitter. No, I'm just kidding.
No, they're doing good. Actually, every one of these vendors you can find on the ConnectWise marketplace under the PitchIT tab, which we'd love you to go there because that way we can actually see how well they do with you all as well. It's kind of important.
Yeah,
it's important for us.
Gave a nice call to urgency with that 20% discount in the next 30 days. So
I love that, and I love that we're at a stage where we're talking about the aggregation of data as well, because I think that was, I remember back in the day when I was putting together numbers and pipeline reviews and stuff long before all these technologies existed, and how I was using spreadsheets and pivot tables and everything I do in between. You know, it was such a pain. By the time I was finished aggregating the information, we were already on the next month, and it was like, that was gone. That's old news, you know? So to be able to quickly be able to take information and then be able to aggregate it so you can make a decision and make adjustments, that's key.
Yeah. I mean, I can talk to the experience of trying to scale two companies, and, you know, having the data, especially early on. And sometimes I think you might not think you need it right, like earlier, but you do, because you're going to get to a point where you're going to be like, oh, I wish we'd been doing this for a lot longer. I mean, it empowers everybody. I mean, and obviously it depends on what data you're looking at, but like, it's going to empower your salespeople. It's going to empower your customer success manager when they go on to these QBR calls and things like that. You know, it just, and I think that's the key. It's, you know, it's like not having these conversations without data to back it up, because you're going to get called out on it. And it's not fun to always be on one of those. We'll be like, well, I have that information, but let me get back to you. And then you're scrambling and looking at your spreadsheets, like you mentioned.
Right, you are. Well, okay, so let's put it in perspective. It enables and empowers everybody from top to the bottom, no matter what your role is. You can create a persona based off each one of these and deliver the needed information to make decisions, right? And then have an actionable game plan around it. Because otherwise, how many times have you gone down the path where you thought it was a good idea, but without anything to support it, you don't know if you had a good idea or not. And then you could be wasting your time. How many entrepreneurs have I worked with that slap things against the wall?
Yeah.
You know, how many of them that we're throwing against the wall, let's see what works. And then all of a sudden something starts to work, and like, my friend told me about this, good idea, let's go do this. And if you don't have the information, say, look, but because of this, here we are, to hold your ground. Now you're constantly in this bizarro world where you really get nothing done fast.
Yeah. And complete side note, Michael Scott, the character from The Office, is like the most commonly used like image in tech presentations. I mean, not for some reason. The Office was very popular. It's just funny.
Absolutely.
And I too have used it back in the day in my ID agent presentation. So, all right, let's got the word from the producers that we are ready to bring up our next guest. Bring up Ian.
All right. You know, this is actually a day of just military personnel in my life. So we got Ian coming up here. Ian Garrett from Phalanx. You ready, dude?
Yeah, I'm good to go. Is my slideshow?
Yeah. Garrett, you want to come up on here just to see It looks like it's not coming up. Let me see if I can get Garrett.
I promise I didn't touch anything in between the tech setup and now. So
You're good.
Maybe-
Could you do this? Kill your share and reshare again.
Live television, Sean. These things
right?
happen.
that's how you
Well,
know we're not. It's
We're
not
doing a
scripted.
live ticket right now for tech support. Good job.
Yeah. Huh.
Not yet. Now we're going to have to troubleshoot.
This really worked earlier.
All right. What is going on? We see just a regular blue
Are you-
screen. What are you
Are
sharing?
you sharing?
PDF.
Are you selecting that? Are you selecting the page?
I was doing entire screen, but let me try window.
Yeah, maybe that.
There you go.
All right, there we go.
There you go. Now we're
Yeah.
seeing it.
And Ian, your time started 4 minutes ago, so you got 1 minute left. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Hey,
Let's wrap
entrepreneur
it
can
up.
do it whatever we need.
So again, Ian, you ready to go now, man?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. It is on you now. Let's go.
All right. Hi, I'm Ian Garrett, co-founder and CEO of Phalanx, and we provide a data loss prevention solution that's built for TSPs like MSPs and MSSPs to serve small and medium-sized businesses. So did you know that 98% of organizations take more than a few weeks to deploy a traditional data loss prevention tool, and nearly half of them take between 4 months to over a year? Implementations that are that time-consuming are not only difficult for TSPs, but it makes it completely impossible to reasonably offer data loss prevention to their customers. The global average cost of a data breach is $4.35 million, and largely due to the fact that data is hard to control and easy to expose. For enterprises, one solution is to deploy a data loss prevention tool, but even with dedicated security teams, it can be time-consuming to deploy, continuously time-consuming to manage. Due to the traditional dependence on rules, the solution was generally not suitable for TSPs. Phalanx is a human-friendly and next-generation DLP and document mapping solution that automatically secures and tracks sensitive documents in existing cloud and local workspaces. We transform a process that could take months down to less than a day. Phalanx's platform combines identity, automation, and encryption to provide a quick-to-deploy and easy-to-manage solution. Phalanx integrates with existing platforms like Google Workspace, Microsoft 365, and local devices to provide a centralized location for TSPs to control data access and stop cyber threats. You can't protect what you can't see, and Phalanx finally lets security managers and TSPs understand where all their sensitive data lives, who's accessing it, and what's the cyber risk associated with it. Our goal is to give time back to those using and managing security tools to protect sensitive data. There are two main components of Phalanx. First, we have the centralized dashboard that includes multi-tenancy for managing multiple customers. With it, you're able to track file access across every customer to know exactly where data access is occurring. You can also track how much data exists in which locations to minimize and quantify the cyber risk exposure of your customers. The other component is our endpoint software that is lightweight and can be deployed via a software center or any other provisioning methods, including downloading it directly from our website. Our focus is to be as seamless as possible with our customers' clients, and our platform requires minimal training, since interacting with all of it is all about right-clicking and double-clicking files, something that they're already familiar with. As to the value of our community, our product enables our channel partners. The quick deployments and easy management save hours of time so they can increase their customer count without exponentially increasing their workload. Since our product can be deployed at the small business level, it also enables our channel partners to provide an offering to their customers that traditionally was out of reach. There are two primary areas where Phalanx competes. The first is storage encryption, which can be helpful to protect sensitive data, but limits the customer to only using that platform. We found that our channel partners are frustrated with how difficult it is to track and manage these storage solutions across their client workspaces. In contrast, Phalanx overlays on top of existing technology, so it simplifies the overall infrastructure to manage. The other area we compete against is traditional data loss prevention. Most of these solutions are out of reach of most TSPs because they're just too expensive, too difficult to deploy, and way too complicated to manage. Our focus on identity-based security that leverages encryption takes away the pain of deployment and management, so our partners can focus elsewhere in their business while providing best-in-class data security to their clients. Phalanx's channel program was born out of collaboration with TSPs. We wanted to ensure our product and processes are directly in line with how TSPs operate and the needs of the community. We're committed to onboarding each of our partners and providing training so they're fully equipped to service their clients. This includes the technical components like adding multi-tenancy and single sign-on, so our partners can let Phalanx do the work behind the scenes. We also fit directly in how our partners' businesses operate. We don't require minimum license counts, and we allow unlimited endpoints per user. This enables TSPs of any size, especially small businesses, to start providing Phalanx to their customers with no barrier to entry. Our channel partners are crucial in the design and development of Phalanx Muse. Because of this, we prioritize feature development that our partners and their customers require, since it's an evolving opportunity to build the best data loss prevention solution for SMBs. I'll leave you with a quote from one of our channel partners that Phalanx has positively enabled. TechBrisk chose to partner with Phalanx because their data encryption solution is well suited to our clients, which are small and mid-sized businesses. We can deploy it in minutes. Managing Phalanx Muse is extremely simple, cost-efficient, and effective. If you zoned out for everything else, just listen to this. Mention promo code PitchIT in the next 2 weeks, and you'll save 25% off each license for the next 6 months, which you can use to bolster your margins. Thank you for your time, and please reach out if you want to discuss Phalanx.
Excellent. Thank you, Ian. All right.
Good
So
job.
polls should be going up. He was like, I saw your 30-day urgency, and I just went 2 weeks on you.
Now Matt can beat that. That's all there is.
Oh man. So just for the users, we've got 3 more presentations for the day. So we're kind of in the home stretch. So I'll be honest, this isn't my area of expertise, so I'm definitely going to defer to you a bit on this, Sean. But I did like the report. I did visually, that was very appealing. I love how you could like see the physical map of where the different devices and things. So,
I think, well, again, I mean, let's keep it at the most simplistic thing. The fact that they're running reports, again, back to aggregating information to make decisions it's very important. And the whole DLP side of things is pretty serious. There's a lot of people out there that are doing it. And I do like, though, the fact that, the way Ian presented this was not just as, hey, we're going to give you a tool to work with or a software to work with that's going to help you with it internally or whatever to just provide a service, but it's also we're going to help you to sell it. There's plenty of room for this for margin as well, which is important. And I wish he could have dug into like the expertise of him and his team, because they are also like ridiculously impressive. There's a shit ton of, there's a lot there. I don't want to say anything more about them, but yeah, I know. So when it comes down to data loss prevention, again, we're talking about 2 sides of the coin here. If you notice, a lot of these vendors, and I'll use cybersecurity again, because the best way to talk about it, we always talk about right of boom and not left of boom. Right of boom is always more reactive. Left of boom is proactive. And that's what we're talking about here yet again. So I'm glad to see vendors are more on the front side of it, as opposed to being, hey, we're just going to clean up the mess after the fact. Because we already have those. We need something to help us to keep rolling and maintain business continuity. We can't have data loss take place either. And that's what they focus on. Yeah.
Oh, very valid points. Like I said, not my area of expertise, but I think you broke it down pretty well. So I appreciate you picking up the slack. I'm smart enough to know when to shut up and listen.
I think we all are, and honestly, being part of this program and listening to these guys talk has helped me to learn.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
but there's a lot more because and going through trying to pitch this stuff, and you have to get down to the bare bones conversation. Then then it's more in layman's terms.
Yeah.
And translate into a business conversation, which is so crucial for us.
Yep. All right. So let's start that home stretch. Let's bring up Josh here. And
and here this is another one. Matt's gonna be like, I'm gonna defer to you, Sean. Josh, I will say I'm glad that when I ask you every single time the difference between AI and machine learning, you have a very good explanation that it makes sense. Because I think the world needs to know that difference. And also the difference between that and all that in automation. But I'm gonna get you on here now. Josh from Grok. The floor is yours, buddy.
Thanks. Hi guys, my name is Josh Kindiger, and I'm the co-founder of GrokStream. Today I'm here to talk to you about our company GrokStream and our product Grok. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and our team has started and sold a number of companies in the last 25 years, always focused on driving efficiencies into IT operations. So many companies continue to struggle with the complexity of their IT infrastructure. They've invested in monitoring tools that generate a mountain of alarms. So many that by the time the alarms make it to the team that's responsible for identifying and fixing these issues, we're basically asking them to find a needle in a haystack. It's Grok's mission to help these teams identify as quickly as possible if there is an issue or is going to be an issue, and then help them prevent or fix that issue as quickly as possible. What I'm showing you here is taken from one of our current MSP customers. They have hundreds of their customers on the Grok platform. And in the last week, their monitoring tools generated over 500,000 alarms. Grok grouped those alarms into 47,800 detections and further determined that only 1,429 should be incidents. Grok then opened 588 incidents with the operations team, but it was able to automate the workflow and resolution of the remaining 840 incidents on its own. Grok is a second-generation AIOps platform with the following capabilities. Grok offers intelligent event ingestion. Its models are plug and play. It offers anomaly detection, clustering, early detection, and incident prediction. It's able to detect the root cause of the problem real time. And Grok offers incident classification and is able to automate the remediation of the problem when it's possible. Grok's approach to AIOps is very similar to neuroscience. It leverages concepts from the neocortex, which handles higher level cognitive functions like sensor perception and decision making. Grok is able to process operational data like events and logs to make real-time decisions. But unlike our brain, Grok learns fast. Think crawl, walk, run in a matter of weeks or months and not years. There's a lot of skepticism in our space around the terms artificial intelligence. And that's because many of the first generation AIOps platforms invested heavily and marketed heavily to those terms. But after years of adoption, their customers realized that there really wasn't a lot of AI at all. They still had teams of people writing rules to correlate the alarms. So when we entered the market and heard this feedback, we identified some key areas that would help us fill this lack of AI gap. The first area was around clustering, which is how we group our alarms. Grok leverages an unsupervised clustering approach. It does not require rules. As a matter of fact, it would take tens, if not hundreds of thousands of rules from one of our competitors to compete against Grok's brain. Second, Grok is predictive. It's able to recognize early warning patterns in the alarms and tell you that a problem is going to occur and when it's going to occur, and give you a chance to initiate a set of manual or automated actions to prevent that from actually becoming service affecting. Third, Grok leverages the classification algorithm to automatically label the root cause real time. And finally, Grok's stream-to-stream integration engine, which is where we clean and shape the data, but most importantly, we're able to split the data into individual customer streams. So as a managed service provider, what that means to you is if you had just one customer on the Grok platform and you add 100 more customers, Grok's just going to work. What I'm showing here is a representative sample of our current MSP customers. These companies demand that we show value day in and day out. Some of the metrics that we measure and continue to measure for them are things like event compression, incident reduction, work reduction, reducing mean time to identify, reducing mean time to repair. If I were to drill into work reduction, what that means is that on average across all of our customers, Grok is reducing the amount of work that the operations team has to do by 78%. When we look at the overall size of the market, we think it's huge. There are 106,000 companies in the world that have 500 or more employees. And that's when we believe that an IT environment becomes complicated enough to need a platform like Grok. A survey was done last year that estimated approximately 70% of these companies are already investigating how to leverage or adopt AI and IT to drive efficiencies. So given our competitive differentiators and how we approach the market as the only true AI platform, we feel strongly that we can win 15% of this market. We've been working with some of the largest companies in the world, some of the largest managed service providers in the world. But as the Grok platform has matured and become fully multi-tenant, we're now able to push those same capabilities down into the mid-market. And we're gonna go after that mid-market with a channel-driven approach. So if we were to win this competition, we're gonna invest every dollar in channel enablement and support.
All right, thanks, Josh. Right on 5 minutes. Good job.
Look at you, get it going.
Actually, by the way, the polls should be going back up. And yeah, Sean, actually today almost everyone's come under 5 minutes. No one's really. That was
Yes,
the
I
close.
know.
That was the closest to 5 minutes. It was like right on the spot, on the dot.
They've been practicing, man. It was important that they get across their message
Yeah.
in a timely fashion. You know, don't gotta follow the rules. The rules are the
Yeah.
rules.
All
And
right.
you only get
So
5 minutes on stage too. So
yeah. So you pre-warned me that you would be speaking on this, but I wrote down. I mean, my my uneducated assessment would be around. You know, what I hear is reduction and suppression of events,
yes.
cutting out a lot of the noise, and even if there is actual incidents, AI fixing those incidents. I mean, is that a fair? Like,
Yes, within
some of them.
yes, you're within the ballpark of all of it. And those are the key words you should have heard, right? It is so think of when people use the RMMs that we provide, right? ConnectWise provides one, right? What is it for? It's remote monitoring to know what's going on, right? Not only is it, the artificial intelligence piece, which this is why I said to Josh about he always explains AI really well because it does have a bad rep in some cases. Machine learning, we've been hearing about it forever. But back to aggregating data to make the right decisions, they've done that already within like the RMM concept too, to be like putting RMM on steroids, right? So you can also start to get rid of some mundane tasks probably as well, but to solve the bigger problems quicker because time is money and any outages is costing money across the board. So not only they get the ability to actually aggregate data to show me what I should do, but they're also in some level, they're also fixing it for you in some cases too.
Yeah.
So, and I love how you used the image of the brain and talked about, the difference between the brain and AI is instead of, months, we're talking about weeks, or instead of weeks, we're talking about hours. So I think that's important. So velocity of information being processed or to solve a problem as quick as you can.
Nice. It's funny. I'm getting a little distracted backstage. Well, Garrett doesn't have his camera on right now, but I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if you can even see Sean, but Garrett was on the treadmill while he was doing it on his computer. I think he's got one of those things on. And then I see our next presenter getting dressed up for the presentation. So,
oh my Lord.
We're not bringing him up yet. We still got about 20 seconds, but
that's good because he's still getting dressed. We can't really be doing that.
No, it's not that serious.
It's Bobby though. There's no way of telling. There's no way of telling. So, all right. So what do you think so far? We're day 3. We've gone through a lot.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel it's shaping up? I'm not asking you for who your favorites are because that's not necessary. But how do you think it's shaping up as a program? This is your second year doing this with me.
Yeah, no, I think the presentations are extremely sharp. It's very clear they've taken feedback from your group, our group. So they've really honed the presentations. I've been impressed. I always stress that, it's such a crowded space in general. So unless you got a blue ocean product, you really have to hit home what makes you different because MSPs are just bombarded all the time with different technologies. So they really need to understand the differences. So
yep. And I think the other thing is not just difference in technology at some point, and it's only 5 minutes, so you don't get to do much more, but at some point I want to know how you operate with me. How do we work together? What's the relationship like?
Yeah.
And that's for the actual real, that's you talking about what Ian talked about asking questions first, doing a proper discovery to see what they need so you can see if you're a good match too. But I'm happy to watch this.
Yeah.
They're doing well, and I'm the proud father, I guess. I don't know, even though some of them are probably older than me and definitely more established, but yeah.
All right, let's keep it going. This gentleman's ready to take flight, and let's bring him up on stage.
I don't even know what this first. You have to unmute yourself, Bobby, because I don't want you to lose any time.
I came in and I said, "Hey, Dad, thanks for having us. Good to be here."
Oh my Lord! Well, Bobby Jacobs from Thread. I don't know what else I can say about this. You're on, dude. Good luck.
Let's do it. At Thread, we serve TSPs or MSPs, some type of service provider. And service is the most important thing our partners provide. But the service just feels bad. End users can either pay a ton of money to be able to pick up the phone and keep someone on the line the whole time they're solving your problem. Or if they're not paying a massive premium, then they have to go find a portal somewhere they've probably never been and fill out a bunch of drop downs that don't really apply to the areas they need. And if not that, then they need to send a generic email to a generic email address and wait an undisclosed amount of time to maybe get their problem solved. It's awful. On top of all this, think about how ironic it is that MSPs have empowered the end user to run their business out of collaboration tools, mainly Microsoft Teams, but we ask them not to talk to us in Teams. MSPs are still communicating via tickets, and tickets are no way to treat somebody. They're great for logging information, time entries, and billing, but they kill the experience for the end user and the technician. Now imagine, you're one of your customers and your website goes down. Instead of having to go through one of the terrible processes we talked about earlier, you're able to chat with your IT team in Teams and know exactly what's happening and how long it'll take. Then you go back to work. Magic. This is the type of service experience Thread empowers MSPs provide, meeting the end user right where they are. At the same time, if it's not in the PSA, it didn't happen, right? We believe that as much as anybody, but we also know it's incredibly difficult, time-consuming, and expensive for an MSP to bring this into reality. So we get all communication on the ticket in real time, and people don't have to think about it. The MSP is inside the customer's collaboration tool with an awesome white-labeled app, or on their website, or on our own app. The point is that the MSP is wherever the end user is. It's magic. We have over 50,000 people seeing Messenger on a regular basis. It's not a portal you have to remember to go to. It's in context, prompting you when you need it, and it feels magical. We're also giving the service desk and dispatchers superpowers. It's called ChatGPT, not PhoneGPT. If there's a repeatable action, we aim to automate it, whether it is common responses to end clients, dispatch, or busy work involved in a ticket like writing a time entry. We do all of these and more for the technician with our in-platform AI. I have this headgear on because Thread is your service co-pilot. Technicians should be focused on creating magical experiences and problem solving, not filling out and processing tickets. It's magic. PSA integrations are crucial for us to create this magical experience, which is why we are incredibly proud to have received the Best Certified Integration Award from ConnectWise at IT Nation last year. Now, we did a case study with RFA and found their average time to response went from almost 4 hours to 2 minutes when using Thread. And another case study we did with our partner WBM, they found they were saving over 300 hours per month just from our automated time entries feature alone. Another partner of ours has seen a 44% increase in CSAT responses when presented through Thread. Thread is the category creator and leader for service experience. We have the largest conversational data set in the MSP space, and this empowers us to create better and faster AI solutions. Through our partnership with Microsoft, OpenAI, and our AI PhD engineer, we've been able to develop industry-leading AI solutions to give our MSP partners a competitive advantage. Thread was chosen by Microsoft for a case study with OpenAI, along with Coca-Cola and Al Jazeera. And we were featured in the keynote presentation at the Microsoft Build conference. Our fanatical focus on our partners and our unique insight, as well as strategic marketing to meet our prospects where they are, has allowed us to see over a 50% close rate with a sales cycle under a month with MSPs in our ideal customer profile. Our land and expand sales model further helps us have tight sales cycles and very low customer acquisition cost, enabling us to put that time and money back into creating value for our partners. As of today, we are working with over 140 MSPs, and our revenue has grown 417% in the last 12 months. In conclusion, Thread doesn't just make service better. We are enabling something fundamentally new and different, a meticulously crafted service experience. By transforming how service is delivered, we are unlocking a new reality for MSPs to operate as a business.
Excellent. Thank you, Bobby.
No problem. Thanks for putting this on, Matt. Thanks, Sean.
Yep,
You guys
sure.
Right? Oh my Lord. Bobby's a special dude.
Yep. All right. So polls should be going up, and we've got, I think, one more presentation today.
We do.
We do. But look, that's a very cool technology they've built. Actually, Garrett backstage, who was a former MSP, said he wishes Thread was around when he was an MSP. So
right. I get it. I think it's really about the fact of the communication piece, right? And we saw chat style the other day with this too, with Chris. You know, how important is the communication is the number one most important thing that you need in order to find success in your business, right? open communication, easy communication, rapid communication, and the fact that it's an omni-channel, it's important because even me, I don't work help desk, but as a salesperson for many years, I also was an account manager, and you're balancing similar responsibilities of keeping people happy. And you have email, text, phone calls, Skype at that point, and Slack, and then Teams. Everything is everywhere, and to keep everything together as an omni-channel communication tool is freaking spot on.
Yeah, and look, I can only go by what was presented. If it's true that they're helping a technician save an hour a day, gosh, you start multiplying that. That's 5 hours a week.
Right.
Multiply that by 52, and then I divide it. Essentially, it's 32 days saved over a course of a year for one technician.
And imagine what's that cost come to? Obviously, based off geographical location, cost of living, right? But my goodness, that's a work. It's almost a work week.
Yeah,
that you lost. Now, how about if you have 5 technicians, and they're all losing the same amount of time? Again, the multiplier effect. And I told Bobby this. But he didn't get into it here, which is smart. I said, this is also a sales tool.
Yeah.
How many deals? Again, you go on to, I recently bought a new car, and I went onto the site, and I got the chat box, right? That chat bot popped up, and I have any questions? And I said, but I already knew I was going to talk to you anyway. Take that to the next level of having rapid instant communication through a chat.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, I hate the experience of the email ticket back and forth.
I agree. Well, I think we all hate emails now. Email is not revolutionary anymore. First off, to write an email, you have to be formal.
Yeah.
It's like writing a letter, right? You have to be very formal, everything. But to text somebody or chat with somebody, it can be a quick response. It's acceptable.
Yeah.
How are you? Fine. You? Great. Instead of, hey, Matt, how are you? Hope all is well. Blah, 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 blah. Right? You literally. And it's instant gratification in the conversation.
Yeah. All right. Let's close things down here. Let's bring up our final guest. And
absolutely. All right, Carla, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
I hope you're well.
I'm doing well, and for everybody, I received a class on proper Queen's English, and when they say fine to you, they don't mean it in a negative way. Fine means they understand and they're good with that, and then it's an agreement.
Well, I might take it back because my son told me his new bike that I just bought him was fine, and I was very mad.
See, now you know. Fine is not the right word, but without further ado, Carla, the floor is yours.
So Orpheus is a British company. We've been in the US about 1.5 years. We have had a lot of success in the enterprise space, but we've been working with MSPs for a little while now, and I'm the COO based out here in Virginia. So the problem that we're trying to solve is that security is expansive. If you are following any type of framework or getting pitched any product, you'll know how many different things you're being told to focus on. And we think it should be focused on one thing. You need to be led by the threat. We're a threat intelligence business at our core with our own team of threat intelligence analysts. So our products solve 2 of the top 3 ways that threat actors are trying to get into your business. So we're not focused on phishing, but we're focused on vulnerability exploitation and threats to the supply chain. So if we take the first one of those, vulnerability management, if you are scanning and patching vulnerabilities, you're probably told to focus on anything that has a CVSS score of a 7 or more. And there's a lot of reasons why that doesn't work so well. But the main one is that is 58% of all the vulnerabilities that are discovered. And there are tens of thousands of them. So we know only 0.5% are ever exploited. And that means by using the tool that we have, you can save 92% of your workload. So here's an example from our platform. You've got 6,000 vulnerabilities that exist within this company. We've pulled in their internal scan data, and then we overlay that and can show you that only 148 are actually exploitable and that 14 are being used in ransomware attacks. So all of a sudden you can focus on those 14 and become significantly more secure than you were if you were worrying about the 6,000. And once you've looked at those 2 categories, exploited and ransomware, We then help you predict which ones will be exploited in the future. We know that we're over 90% accurate at predicting which ones will be used. So if you're wondering why we're different when compared to some of the other prediction and prioritization tools out there, most of them aren't predictive. And we are the only one that have had third-party verification of that. So the DoD equivalent in England, the Ministry of Defence, are the ones who've given us that 94% accurate number. So this obviously saves a huge amount of time and resources. If you're not trying to patch everything and trying to mitigate everything, if we can reduce that workload by 92% while making you as, if not more secure, you're going to save a lot of time and money. So for us, we see this as being probably a core part of an MSP offering for security. So the next thing is third-party risk management. So typically seen as an enterprise problem. Enterprises are pushing this down to smaller businesses. They want to know what's going on with their fourth and fifth parties. So this is coming to MSP clients. Insurers are doing the same thing. They want to see third-party risk programs. So this is something that smaller businesses are going to have to do. And also, if you have clients in healthcare or financial services, they're probably already thinking about this, if not doing something. Your options so far really have been to do a questionnaire that you manage yourselves, or to use a software tool which sends out questions. That's time consuming. You're hoping people send it back or chasing them. You're hoping they've told you accurate answers, and potentially you're having to go through and check that. So you need some level of expertise for that too. So our solution gives you a score. So this is showing you all the things that are going into creating the score. On the left, we have our threat intelligence and our threat activity, things that are relevant to that company. In the middle, we have the data we can see from doing vulnerability scans. And so it's worth noting at this point, nothing has to be deployed onto any company. You don't even need their permission. We can do this in minutes with just a company name and a URL. And then we also pull in some digital risk protection pieces, breach credentials and typo squatting, that kind of thing. So this is where you would see all those third parties, fully multi-tenanted. So you could have one of these for each one of your clients. And we would be saying, look at the ones in red, go talk to those companies, show them the PDF report that we pull from in here, and go talk to them about what problems they have that they can easily mitigate to make them a more secure part of your supply chain. So for us, we see this as a way that MSPs can increase revenue. This is definitely an upsell, but it's also probably one of the cheapest ways that you can start and deliver a third-party risk program. So we've got some of the feedback from the early stage MSPs that have been working with us on this, like talking about our pricing and how easy it is to deploy. I mean, it literally takes minutes to do any of the two things that I've covered there. And then for us as well, we really want to work with you on how to educate your clients on this. So we have a whole partner website about how you either sell part of our solution, or there's case studies, webinars, blogs, all the things you might want to use to go educate your clients and get them to and upsell them into some of these services. And that's it.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Carla.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Carla.
All right. So final poll of the day is going up. So Sean, I'll go to you on any commentary on this last one, and then we'll kind of wrap, do an overall wrap.
Is that because you don't want to talk about what they do because you're like, what is that?
No, it's because I was having to do a lot of backstage things. Man, when you're hosting and running things some things backstage, yeah. Garrett was bothering me with other stuff, No, I'm kidding. I keep throwing Garrett under the bus, but I'm just kidding. He's done an awesome job.
As you should.
Backstage.
As you should. Garrett, get it together.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about this. What I would say is, especially for Carla, when I met her early on in the process, she's highly intellectual, and she gets into things. She even sounds smart because she has a British accent. I say that on purpose because I said it one time before and she gave me a ton of grief about it. But she actually is extremely intelligent about it. And she was able to condense her thoughts into an actual 5-minute presentation that was valuable for people to listen to, that did cover the top high level points. I know it drives her crazy because she has so much more she wants to say about it. And there is so much more, but we're talking about the fact of, being able to offer predictive and actionable intelligence. Again, we're back to the left of boom conversation, right? we're back to the prevention methods as opposed to reactive methods. It's so important. And also, like, if you notice, the theme for a lot of these guys is that they're talking about how they're going to enable the partners to speak to this and sell it and grow it, giving them all the data, all the information necessary. Because Matt, you and I can go back to our heyday 10 years ago when, as vendors, we didn't have any content. We were like, yeah, you just sell it. What do you mean? This is what it does. You know, they're like, what do you have? What about PowerPoints? Well, I gave you one. The one I presented, use that. Like, what, you know, when I first got into the channel, it was such a struggle for me because I was like a glorified admin. I was constantly changing logos on PowerPoints and names for personalization for the resellers. Whereas now they're providing it and they're automating to make it easy so I can actually get what I need at my fingertips when I need it.
Yeah, no, for
You know?
sure.
And the investment on training. They're all invested on training us, training the MSP how to do it, which is a big deal. It's no longer just, here's a product, good luck, go out in the wild. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. All right. So we had, is it 20, did we have 26 presentations in total? Is that, all right. So we had 26.
Yes.
So why don't you, Sean, explain what's going to happen next because it gets narrowed down. It's like, this is the cut of death.
It is. Yeah, there's no March Madness where it's like, here's a bunch of teams you lose part, and that. Yeah, no. This is like we go from, you know, all the teams to the final 3 after this. So we will be getting all results put together, and over the next week here, we will be making a determination within the next 7 days. There will be an official ConnectWise announcement to this in 2 weeks. So nobody in the public will know for 2 weeks. I think it'd be crucial for everybody that had to present to look into Valium or Prozac for the next week. So you don't, you know, while you're waiting for the results. But no, I will tell you that and they put a lot of effort into it. They did it really well. We not only they pitched here with you guys in this venue, so thank you for hosting us again. Thank you for being a good partner to us, Matt, and your counter halves. You know, you gotta mention names like Kevin, and you know, you guys all did great. And thank you for partnering up and helping us to push this. But you know, they pitched here, and then they also pitched to our GMs, our executives, potential investment pieces. So they did another pitch before they did all this. You know. Yeah. And so they're being evaluated between the both, and really we couldn't have been here and done it without the whole collaborative effort from our team, your team. So to my peeps over there, Louie and Andrea and Jessica and Ashley and God knows who else, man, they all put their effort into it. And then our GMs, thank you to them for being part of this, and Jason McGee.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm stoked. We're gonna have announcements in 2 weeks, and honestly, I hate it.
I'm sure you've been like the parent.
Yeah, I want all 26 to make it, man. You know, but the reality is you can't. It's not how it works, man. You know, when you close a deal, only one person wins the deal.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to the channel program team as well. You know, Caitlin spent a lot of time going over the presentations with quite a few of the group.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Kelly from marketing helped promote it, and Erica backstage helping run things, and then Garrett, of course, you know, making sure everybody from a technical standpoint was on point. Everybody did a great job. And yeah, to the presenters, everybody, yeah, I think that the game was stepped up this year from last year, I think. And you kind of expect that, right? Because everybody can kind of go back and learn from, and so it's all heading in the right direction. And then the last thing, kind of Sean, I'll mention just as a reminder, not only obviously to see the final 3 present, but in general, they should be coming to ConnectWise.
They
IT
should.
Nation, right?
Absolutely. I mean, again, I mentioned earlier about the reinvestment from these guys. You know, of the 26 vendors, we have over half that are actually sponsoring at IT Nation Connect. Some of the ones from overseas, obviously, it's a little bit more of an ask for them to make it, so they're not able to make it as often. But it shows you they're reinvesting, and MSPs should be going to this. You should be going to all these shows for this. If you're looking for vendors, if you're looking for best practices, if you're looking to network and figure out how to improve your business, that's what these are designed for. You know, and if you want to see, once we make the announcement 2 to 3 finalists, if you want to come see them, we have the championship that takes place on November 8th. The first, that's the pre-day. That's before the first keynote is done later that day from Jason McGee And it is on stage. It is exciting. It was, I mean, last year was great. It was fun. We had a big crowd and we had open bar, so just want to point that out too. It's always a good thing. But we did have, several, probably about 300-400 people in that room. We're looking for more this year because more vendors, more awareness, more everything.
Yep, absolutely. All right. We've taken up enough of everyone's time today. And thank you again for everybody attending, participating, giving your feedback, all the above. And best of luck to everybody. And hopefully we see all of you in November at IT Nation.
We will see you all there. That's all there is to it. Thanks,
There you
Matt.
go. All right. Thanks, Sean.